Well, what a change 24 hours has made for us all in Kentuckiana. You know, we love to say our weather is really crazy in Kentuckiana, but you know what? It really is. Snow flurries this afternoon, just a day after highs in the 70s, temperatures dropping 50 degrees, even an earthquake in central Kentucky. Kentuckiana is on a roller coaster this winter time. Well, thankfully, those high winds have now calmed down a bit, but we start here at 5 with the dramatic change in our winter weather on this New Year's week. Hi, everybody, and thanks for being with us. I'm Doug Proffitt.
And I'm Connie Leonard. It makes you wonder what the rest of this week is going to be like, and that's why we have Chief Meteorologist Mallory Schnell here to tell us all about it. Hey, Mallory.
Hey there. Yes, it's looking much more typical, I would say, for the end of December. We're going to have highs for the rest of the work week in the 30s, 40s. We may warm back into the 50s by next week. But as we take that live look outside, more cloud cover from our Hughes and Coleman camera. This is overlooking downtown Louisville, part of our U of L Health camera network. Temperatures right now in the 20s, and that's where we've stayed for much of the day today. We had a midnight high temperature, and then those temperatures dropped from there, staying pretty steady in the low to mid 20s throughout the course of the day. These wind chills, this is what has been brutal. We've had wind chills in the single digits and low to mid teens all day today, and that's due to those, of course, gusty winds that we've had around. They were highest this morning when we were under a wind advisory through 1 p.m., but we still are looking at wind gusts between 15 to 30 miles per hour. And when temperatures are already cold, it doesn't take much to really drop those feel-like temperatures. So that's what we're seeing this evening, along with mostly cloudy skies and, yes, some lingering flurries really picking up south of Louisville, closer to the parkways, likely just kind of flying around because we have very dry air in place, so they will not amount to much, but we will hold that flurry chance through this evening and tonight, with overnight lows only dropping a couple of degrees down into the upper teens and lower 20s here. We are expecting more sunshine tomorrow, but temperatures will struggle to warm, highs in the upper 20s and lower 30s. We'll talk more about our New Year's Eve and New Year's Day forecast. That's coming up here in a few minutes.
Well, those high winds we saw last night left some people in southern Indiana waking up to damage in their lawns. A tree care expert is teaching our Alexander Goldberg and photojournalist Gabby DeGeorge how to keep your trees from wrecking your property.
They're a double-edged sword.
Winter has made its return, and if you're here in southern Indiana, you probably heard it Sunday night. Loud and high winds pummeled through our viewing area at the end of the holiday weekend, knocking down trees like this one on Country Lane Road in Sellersburg, Indiana.
It sneaks up on you, but whenever you hear a tree start snapping, you know, it's a distinctive sound. You know what's happening.
Josh Bixler owns the tree trimming service Bixler Land and Tree in southern Indiana. We met him in Utica as he started to remove 6 trees at the request of a landowner who was worried they would uproot and topple over this winter.
A couple of them are locusts. Locusts get some decay spots in them just from branches breaking out.
Our WHAS11 weather impact team reports SDF Airport saw a 54-mile-per-hour thunderstorm wind gust Sunday night, which the National Weather Service classifies as a threat to life and property. But Bixler says the threat of down trees is the strongest when there's rain.
Thankfully, the ground wasn't as saturated. We didn't have a lot of rain leading up into the storms this time, but it's definitely something that people need to be aware of for the future.
Bixler says to protect your property during a storm, you have to be proactive. Check the base for any signs of rotting or decay and look up into the tree and make sure none of the bigger branches are cracking.
Just really paying attention to how your tree's health looks, especially in the normal time of the year, you know, whenever they're supposed to be healthy and be fully leafed out.
After a couple days of spring-like weather, Kentuckiana is back to freezing cold and high winds. And companies like Bixler Land and Tree are mindful Mother Nature can take up some roots. In southern Indiana, Alexander Goldberg, WHAS11, on your side.
Well, despite those high winds, we've been following it closely today. There were no major power outages in southern Indiana overnight. Same for Metro Louisville, where there are only 18 customers out at this very hour.
Well, with the holidays, flu cases are on the rise. The latest CDC data shows nearly 5 million cases across the country. New York is seeing its worst outbreak on record with more than 70,000 cases in one recent week alone. And 14 other states are also reporting a high number of cases. The bulk of those cases is being linked to a new variant known as subclade K, and doctors say the symptoms are coming on faster and can be more intense. The CDC recommends everyone over 6 months old get a flu shot, and it's not too late for it to be helpful this season.
It is bad right now, Connie. I know a couple of people who've really struggled with this strain of the flu, and you've been around a lot of people the past week stuck inside homes with relatives, and make sure you've been washing your hands this holiday season because flu cases are now really on the rise in Louisville. There are. A Norton healthcare physician tells us that vaccination rates are also a bit lower than average, and his patients are also walking in with positive COVID-19 cases. WHAS11's Jose Alonso has more.
Exam rooms like this could become familiar for some people this holiday season. Dr. Joshua Brandon with Norton Healthcare says it's the season for the flu to spread.
Last year was actually one of the biggest years in the past decade for influenza. This year is tracking maybe a little bit behind that, but still we're seeing a significant amount of flu cases coming in. I've even seen some today.
According to online data from the Louisville Metro Department of Public Health and Wellness, 1,953 cases of influenza have been reported since the end of September. The dashboard shows cases began to rise around November, with almost 600 cases reported the week of December 20th alone.
The typical flu symptoms, is going to be feeling like you were hit by a bus, fatigue, fevers, chills, body aches, sometimes even difficulty breathing. Those are the common symptoms that we're seeing with influenza.
At Good Brothers Pharmacy in West Louisville, pharmacist Michaela Brooks has been filling out more prescriptions for Tamiflu than requests for preventative vaccines.
I haven't had any patients that have called in looking for the flu shot. Is it alarming? No. It is an overall consensus that patients usually don't want the flu shots unless they have to have it for work-related issues or, being around someone who has a low immune system or things like that.
Health officials expect cases for this virus to continue rising as we enter January. In Louisville, Jose Alonso, WHAS11 on your side.
Dr. Brandon says if you start experiencing any of those symptoms like fatigue, chills, or body aches, it's important to get tested right away.
You're also encouraged to be mindful celebrating the new year, as asymptomatic people can also spread the flu.
More of our top local stories for you here on this Monday. Metro Police are still investigating an early Sunday morning shooting that has left one teenager dead. LMPD says a 15-year-old boy with a gunshot wound arrived at Norton Healthcare, West Louisville, by private means just before 6 on Sunday morning. He later died at the hospital. According to police, early information shows the shooting happened in the Parkland neighborhood off West Kentucky Street. As of today, police say there's no known suspects. The investigation is still underway. They're asking for you to help their detectives. You can call anonymously by calling 574 LMPD.
Today, Jefferson County Clerk David Yates officially launched his campaign. Yates was sworn in as interim county clerk in October after the death of longtime clerk Bobby Holsclaw, you may remember. Well, Yates, a former state senator, says his top priorities include transparency, improved communication between county offices, and using modern technology to make services more secure and accessible. Today, Yates formally filed his candidacy at the Jefferson County Clerk's office as he looks to serve out the remainder of the term through November 2026.
We also have a new update to a story we've been following since the weekend. The Louisville Metro Housing Authority says it's unsure when tenants will be able to return home to a public housing building after an electrical fire that happened this weekend. It happened at the St. Catherine Court building on 4th Street. That's in Old Louisville. Nobody was hurt in the fire, and power has been restored to the first floor only. Today, the Housing Authority says all of the roughly 150 people have been relocated to a safe place. LMHA is paying for hotels and also giving all residents 2 months of rent relief. And today we caught up with the Metro Housing Director, Elizabeth Strojan. She says to fix the issue, they need to order a brand new part for an electrical duct in the basement.
We believe we have a good lead on locating that part, so now we need to get it here. All of the pre-work is done, so once the part is here, it should be a matter of hours before we're able to fully restore power.
Strojan talking about it at that news conference today. Strojan says she hopes to get people back in the building by Wednesday, but it may not be really until the end of the week.